Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for 1001 Arabian Nights. I don't know if you can see this, but I've even got some incense burning this evening. And I am once again at the theatre because we have a show going on downstairs. And I am upstairs in the rehearsal room to be able to read for you this evening. It's going to be a short reading, but I'm really glad. I'm sorry we didn't get to do it yesterday, but I had to be in the theatre yesterday and I had to watch the show. So I'm very, very grateful and happy to be here for you tonight, and I look forward to reading for you. So let me just turn this music down. I am going to be competing. There is a bar across the way from the theatre and they have live music going on tonight. So just, you're going to have to bear with me a little bit on that and with the echo in this room. But I promise you to try and make it as easy going. Oh, that doesn't work, does it? Oh, how do I get this to get the colour right? To try and get this as what did I just do? There we go. Try and get this as easygoing for you as possible. So, when it was the 133rd night, Shahrazad said, I will relate thee the tale of Ali bin Bakr and of Shams al-Nahar. It hath reached me, O august king, that in days of yore, and in times and ages long gone before, during the caliphate of Harun al-Rashid, there was a merchant who named his son Abu al-Hasan, Ali bin Tahir. Excuse me. And the same was great of goods and grace, while his son was fair of form and face, and held in favour by all folk. He used to enter the royal palace without asking leave, for all the caliph's concubines and slave girls loved him. And he was wont to be companion with al-Rashid in his cups, and recite verses to him, and tell him curious tales and witty. Withal he sold and bought in the merchant's bazaar, and there used to sit in his shop a youth named Ali bin Bakr, of the sons of the Persian kings, who was famous of form and symmetrical of shape and perfect of figure, with cheeks red as roses and joined eyebrows, sweet of speech, laughing-lipped and delighting in mirth and gaiety. Now it chanced one day, as the two sat talking and laughing, behold, there came up 10 damsels like moons, every one of them complete in beauty and loveliness and elegance and grace. And amongst them was a young lady riding on a she-mule with a saddle of brocade and stirrups of gold. She wore an outer veil of fine stuff, and her waist was girt with a girdle of gold embroidered silk, and she was even, as saith the poet, silky her skin, and silk that zoned waist, sweet voice, words not o'er many nor too few. 2 eyes, quoth Allah, be, and they became, and work like wine on hearts they make to rue. O love I feel, grow greater every night. O solace, doomday bring our interview. And then when the cortege reached Abu al-Hasan's shop, she alighted from her mule and sitting down on the front board saluted him, and he returned her salam. When Ali bin Bakkar saw her, she ravished his understanding, and he rose to go away. But she said to him, "Sit in thy place. We came to thee, and thou goest away. This is not fair." Replied he, "O my lady, by Allah, I flee from what I see, for the tongue of the case saith, she is a sun which towereth high as sky. So ease thy heart with cure by patience lent, though to her skyey height shalt fail to fly, nor she from skyey height can make descent." When she heard this, she smiled and asked Abu al-Hasan, "What is the name of this young man?" Who answered, "He is a stranger." And she inquired, "What countryman is he?" Whereto the merchant replied, "He is a descendant of the Persian kings. His name is Ali, son of Bakkar, and the stranger deserveth honour." Rejoined she, "When my damsel comes to thee, come thou at once to us, and bring him with thee, that we may entertain him in our abode, lest he blame us, and say, 'There is no hospitality in the people of Baghdad.' For loneliness is the worst fault a man can have. Thou hearest what I say to thee, and, if thou disobey me, thou wilt incur my displeasure, and I will never again visit thee or salute thee." Quoth Abu al-Hasan, "On my head and my eyes, Allah preserve me from thy displeasure, fair lady." Then she rose and went away. Such was her case, but as regards Ali bin Bakkar, he remained in a state of bewilderment. Now, after an hour, the damsel came to Abu al-Hasan and said to him, "Of a truth, my lady Shams al-Nahar, the favourite of the commander of the faithful, Harun al-Rashid, biddeth thee to her, thee and thy friend, my lord, Al bin Bakkar." So he rose, and, taking Ali with him, followed the girl to the Caliph's palace, where she carried them into a chamber and made them sit down. They talked together a while, when behold, trays of food were set before them, and they ate and washed their hands. Then she brought them wine, and they drank deep and made merry. After which she bade them rise and carried them into another chamber, vaulted upon 4 columns, furnished after the goodliest fashion, with various kinds of furniture, and adorned with decorations as it were one of the pavilions of paradise. They were amazed at the rarities they saw, and as they were enjoying a review of these marvels, suddenly up came 10 slave girls, like moons, swaying and swimming in beauty's pride, dazzling the sight and confounding the sprite. And they ranged themselves in 2 ranks, as if they were the black-eyed brides of paradise. And after a while, in came other 10 damsels, bearing in their hands lutes and divers instruments of mirth and music. And these, having saluted the 2 guests, sat down and fell to tuning their lute strings. Then they rose, and standing before them played and sang and recited verses, and indeed each one of them was a seduction to the servants of the Lord. Whilst they were thus busied, there entered, I've just realised what it is that's annoying my nose. And of course it's the incense. They then rose and standing before them, played and sang recited verses, and indeed each one of them was a seduction to the servants of the Lord. Whilst they were thus busied, there entered other 10 damsels, like unto them, high-bosomed maids, and of an equal age, with black eyes and cheeks like rose, joined eyebrows, and looking languorous, a very fascination to the eye, faithful might to all who looked upon them, a delight. Clad in various kinds of coloured silks, with ornaments that amazed man's intelligence. They took up their station at the door, and there succeeded them yet other 10 damsels, even fairer than they, clad in gorgeous array, such as no tongue can say, and they also stationed themselves by the doorway. Then in came a band of 20 damsels, and amongst them the lady Shams al-Nahar hight, as she were the moon among the stars, swaying from side to side, with luring gait and in beauty's pride. And she was veiled in the middle with the luxuriance of her locks, and clad in a robe of azure blue, and a mantilla of silk, embroidered with gold and gems of price, and her waist was girt with a zone set with various kinds of precious stones. She ceased not to advance with her graceful and coquettish sway, till she came to the couch that stood at the upper end of the chamber, and seated herself thereon. But when Ali bin Bakkar saw her, he versified with these verses: Source of mine evils truly, she is alone of long love longing, and my groans and moans. Near her I find my soul in melting mood, for love of her and wasting of my bones. And, finishing his poetry, he said to Abu al-Hasan, Hast thou dealt more kindly with me? Thou hadst forewarned me of these things ere I came hither, that I might have made up my mind and taken patience to support what hath befallen me. And he wept and groaned and complained. Replied Abu al-Hasan, O my brother, I meant thee naught but good, but I fear to tell thee this, lest such transport should betide thee as might hinder thee from foregathering with her, and be a stumbling block between thee and her. But be of good cheer, and keep thine eyes cool and clear, for she to thee inclineth, and to favour thee designeth. Asked Ali bin Bakkar, What is this young lady's name? Answered Abu al-Hasan, She is hight Shams al-Nahar, one of the favourites of the commander of the faithful, Harun al-Rashid, and this is the palace of the Caliphate. Then Shams al-Nahar sat gazing upon the charms of Ali bin Bakkar, and he upon hers, till both were engrossed with love for each other. Presently, she commanded the damsels, one and all, to be seated, each in her rank and place, and all sat on a couch before one of the windows, and she bade them sing, whereupon one of them took up the lute and began caroling, Give thou my message twice, bring clear reply in trice. To thee, O Prince of Beauty, with complaint I rise. My lord is heart-blood dear, and life's most precious prize. Give me one kiss in gift, or loan if thou devise. And if thou crave of more, take all that satisfies. Thou don'st me sickness dress, thee with health's weed I bless. Her singing charmed Ali bin Bakkar, and he said to her, "Sing me more of the like of these verses." So she struck the strings and began to chant these lines. Be stress of parting, O beloved, one. Thou madest these eyelids torrent race to run. O gladness of my sight and dear desire, goal of my wishes, my religion. Pity the youth whose eyne are drowned in tears, of lover gone distraught and clean undone. When she had finished her verses, Shams al-Nahar said to another damsel, "Let us hear something from thee." So she played a lively measure and began these couplets. His looks have made me drunken, not his wine. His grace of gait disgraced, sleep to these eyne. Dazed me no cup, but cock with curly crop. His gifts okay me, not the gifts of vine. His winding locks of my patience clue unwound. His robed beauties robbed all wits of mine. When Shams al-Nahar heard this recital from the damsel, she sighed heavily, and the song pleased her. Then she bade another damsel sing, so she took the lute and began chanting. Face that with soul in heaven lamping vies, youth's tide fair fountain which begins to rise, whose curly side-beard writeth writ of love, and in each curl concealeth mysteries. Cried Beauty, when I met this youth, I knew 'tis Allah's loom such gorgeous robe supplies. When she finished her song, Ali bin Bakkar said to the slave maiden nearest him, "Sing us somewhat, thou, O damsel." So she took the lute and began singing. Our try-stinging time is all too short for this long coyish coquetry. How long this nay-nay and wait? This is not all nobility. And now that time deigns lend delight, profit of the opportunity. When she ended, Ali bin Bakkar followed up her song with flowing tears, and as Shams al-Nahar saw him weeping and groaning and complaining, she burned with long loving and desire, and passion and transport consumed her. So she rose from the sofa and came to the door of the alcove, where Ali met her, and they embraced with arms round the neck, and fell down fainting in the doorway, whereupon the damsels came to them, and carrying them into the alcove, sprinkled rose water upon them both. When they recovered, they found not Abu al-Hassan, who had hidden himself beside of the couch, and the young lady said, "Where is Abu al-Hassan?" So he showed himself to her from beside the couch, and she saluted him, saying, "I pray Allah to give me the means of requiting thee, O kindest of men." Then she turned to Ali bin Bakkar and said to him, "O my lord, passion hath not reached this extreme pass with thee without my feeling the like, but we have nothing to do save to bear patiently what calamity has befallen us." Replied he, "By Allah, O my lady, union with thee may not content me, nor gazing upon thee assuage the fire thou hast lighted, nor shall leave me the love of thee which hath mastered my heart, but with the leaving of my life." So saying, he wept, and the tears ran down upon his cheeks like threaded pearls. And when Shams al-Nahar saw him weep, she wept for his weeping. But Abu al-Hassan exclaimed, "By Allah, I wonder at your case and am confounded at your condition. Of a truth, your affair is amazing, and your charms dazing. What, this weeping while ye are yet together? Then how will it be what time ye are parted and far separated?" And he continued, "Indeed, this is no tide for weeping and wailing, but a reason for meeting and merrymaking, and rejoice therefore, and make your pleasure shed no more tears." Then Shams al-Nahar signed to a slave girl, who rose and presently returned with handmaids bearing a table, whose dishes of silver were full of various rich viands. They set the table before the pair, and Shams al-Nahar began to eat and to place tidbits in the mouth of Ali bin Bakar, and they ceased not doing so till they were satisfied, when the table was removed and they washed their hands. Then the waiting women fetched censers with all manner of incense, aloe wood and ambergris and mixed scents, and sprinkling flasks full of rosewater were all brought, and they were fumigated and perfumed. After this, the slaves set on vessels of graven gold, containing all kinds of sherbets, besides fruit fresh and dried, that heart can desire and eye delight in. And lastly, one brought a flagon of carnelian full of old wine. Then Shams al-Nahar chose 1 out of 10 handmaids to attend on them, and 10 singing women, and dismissing the rest to their apartments, bade some of those who remained strike the lute. They did as she bade them, and one of them began to sing. "My soul to him who smiled back my salute, in breast reviving hopes that were no more. The hand of love my citral brought to light, and censers tongues with lies my ribs below. My teardrops ever pressed twixt me and him, as though my teardrops showing love would flow." When she had finished her singing, Shams al-Nahar rose, and filling a goblet, drank it off, then crowned it again, and handed it to Ali bin Bakar. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. So, I know this is in this light. Unfortunately, this is a very, very bright shirt tonight. Everybody, it was an absolute pleasure reading for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to say goodnight already, and I send you many, many blessings. I hope you have had a beautiful day. I hope you are going to have a beautiful evening, and I hope you have many beautiful dreams this night. So, many blessings from me, many salams, and good night. Take care of yourselves. Okay, look after yourselves. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you very much for listening in. Bye-bye.